Mate, 7 days ago, you were involved in a pretty extraordinary Premier League game, beating Leeds 4-3 in London.
Yeah.
You're now in the Middle East and 2 days away from England's first game in the World Cup. That must feel pretty extraordinary.
Yeah, it does. It's obviously a unique situation for us. Being obviously my third major tournament of England, and obviously the first time in this kind of situation. But in some ways it's quite a nice for me, maybe not for the coaches, and the managers, and tactically from that aspect of things, not ideal for them. They'd probably like to prepare us a bit more, but for me, from a player's point of view, the quick turnaround is actually quite a nice thing. Now that we're here, we're just getting straight into it. It's quite nice. I'm quite impatient, so it's quite nice to be getting started. Obviously, there are other aspects that aren't so great. Obviously, we've seen quite a few players miss out to injuries which they wouldn't normally have missed a tournament with. But now that we're here, I'm very excited to start.
It's clearly really hot, whether you're walking around or training in these conditions. But have you been given any idea about how the air conditioning is going to work in this first stadium, the Khalifa International Stadium, and kind of what impact that's going to have on the temperatures actually on the pitch? No,
I know it exists, but I don't know what kind of impact it will have. I've never experienced it before, so it's going to be a first. I think, to be honest, it's hot, but it's not. I think I've been pleasantly surprised. I don't think it's too bad. And to be honest, I think the next World Cup's in America and in the summer. I'm sure it's going to be hot there as well. So, as I said, this is normally a tournament that's played in the summer, and in Russia it was hot. I think that I wasn't there, but the Euros in England that was hot in the summer as well. So I think. We're fit and we're ready for that. Every team's, we're playing in the same conditions as our opposition, so it's the same for everyone.
Bit of a gear change here, mate. Gianni Infantino, the FIFA president, has given a quite extraordinary news conference in the last hour or so. I don't suspect you've seen much, if any, of it.
No.
But look, you were very outspoken about Brexit. You grew up in Portugal. You made it very clear that you're very pro-European. You feel European. And I want to tell you something that Infantino said and see what you think of it, if that's okay. He said, in Europe, we close our borders. If Europe really cared about these people, meaning migrant workers, they could let some of these workers come to Europe. And you'll know that migrant workers is a real topic of controversy and horror over here at the moment. Do you agree with Infantino there? What are your thoughts?
Well, I haven't seen seen or heard anything from the press conference you're talking about. Obviously, it was just mentioned to us, but I haven't had a chance to see it, and I'd need you to read me that quote again because I can't remember what you've just said.
Do you want me to? Look, if you don't want to comment on it, I appreciate it. Look, you're a footballer, you don't have to. But
no, I think that's the important message for me is obviously for us is extremely difficult every day for all of us as players. We come here and we know that these topics are going to be addressed, and it's a difficult situation for us. I was looking today because I thought I'd probably get this kind of question, and the World Cup was awarded here to Qatar in 2010, I think, and I was 16 at the time. So it's very difficult for me to talk on it because we as players have absolutely no say in where we play. It's those decisions are made by people way above us, and obviously we're the ones that end up sitting here having to answer these kind of questions, and it's a difficult situation for us, for every, not just us, every team, every player is going to experience it throughout the whole tournament, and it's disappointing. I think for me individually, I carry the values that I've been given by my family and what I've grown up in and the people that have educated me. I carry those values wherever I go, and at the same time I respect everywhere that I go. And we've been here a very short time, so for me it's important to live this experience, and then at that point I think have a much better idea of what to say on it. Obviously, a lot of things have already happened, a lot of things that are very disappointing, and you know, those will always be in my mind. But I think as a team, like I said, individually, and I think as a team, we carry certain values, and no matter where we go, we'll carry those values, and at the same time, we'll respect everywhere we go. So yeah, it's difficult for me to talk about that kind of situation.
Do you want to give us a bit more idea of what you found disappointing? Because you said there's a lot of things that you've seen that have been disappointing.
Sorry, not seen in the last couple of days. I'm talking about obviously what's happened in the building of the stadiums, for example. It's obviously, you know, a terrible situation. So things have happened in the past. But as I said, us as players, we really have no influence on these kind of decisions, and it's a World Cup, and it's something that I'm extremely proud to be a part of. Us as a team, we're extremely proud to be here to represent our country, to play football. You know, and at the end of the day, we are footballers. We're not politicians. I think Connor spoke really well the other day, where he said we're not politicians, but we do have our values, and we speak on them, and we speak on what we believe in, and I think that's the most important thing, always in a respectful way.
Thank you, mate. Sorry for putting you on the spot. Well done.
No, it's okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Rob. Sorry, I actually go to Jack Pitbrook next.
Eric, how you doing? In the 2 England games you played in September, you obviously played in that role. You played for Tottenham in the middle of the 3. But 3 of the last 4 games for Spurs, you were actually on the right of the 3 instead.
Yeah.
How do you find that different role, the challenges with and without the ball?
Yeah, obviously, having played in the middle for a long time, obviously, yeah, for me it was just a different experience. But I played in that position a lot under Pochettino when I played for Tottenham, and in the back 5, I played always on the right, so it wasn't a position that was completely new to me. So yeah, I think I can play in any position really in defence. It's not. Sorry.
We're all waiting to see what the team's going to be on Monday, but I take it you'd be happy enough to play in the middle of the 3, on the right of the 3, wherever.
Yeah, I'll play in goal if I have to. It's a World Cup. I'll take whatever chance I can get. As I said, I feel completely comfortable in any position in defence, whether it's whatever position. I believe in myself to be able to play in anyone. Yeah.
You're one of the more experienced players here. You went to Euro 2016, which a lot of these guys in the squad didn't. Having been to so many tournaments, what specific bits of experience are you able to offer to the younger lads?
Well, I think they might be young, but I think they've already done a lot. They've already lived a lot of experiences themselves. Obviously, for I don't know how many of the boys it's their first tournament, but yeah, obviously living through the Euros 2016, I think I was 21 at the time. It was a great experience for me. Obviously, a very disappointing tournament for England, so I learned a lot through that experience. And then the World Cup in Russia was obviously a great redemption for us, I think, from where we came from in Euro 2016, and since then there's been an upward trend, I think, and it's about trying to continue that. To continue, I think Gareth and everyone that's part of the backroom staff since Gareth's joined have built a fantastic foundation for the English national team, and it's about continuing with those principles and trying to improve on them, because there's always space for improvement, and we can. I think this team has an incredible space for improvement because of the age of so many of the players here. They're going to be a part of this England team for many, many years.
Hi Eric, Alex Howell, BBC. You got into the England squad in September after a little break away. Was the World Cup in your mind from that point, and just how pressured did those Nations League games feel to you then?
Obviously not being in the team for a while after the Euros was tough for me, and I was extremely motivated to try and get back in and try and be here at the World Cup. You know, obviously that was an objective of mine, but at the same time, during that time, I think I was just really trying to focus on Tottenham and playing well for Tottenham and trying to improve myself individually. And I knew I could only control the things that are controllable to me: being fit, playing well, and I tried to control those as best I could. And obviously we're all human, you know, we know there's a World Cup around the corner, we want to be a part of it. It's the greatest thing in football for me, so yeah, I'm extremely proud and happy to be here.
Was there anything specific you feel you did to get back into the England team?
Play well, yeah. I think we complicate things sometimes. It's that simple, really, no? Just to play well. Yeah, I remember, obviously, my club manager, I remember at the beginning of this season, he said to me, you know, because I hadn't been in the squad in the summer, he just said, you gotta play better, you know? And that's what I tried to do. Yeah.
And you scored that winning penalty against Colombia in the last World Cup. What are your memories of that time? Yeah,
obviously one of my best memories in football. Obviously my best memory in an England shirt. Being part of that World Cup experience in general, and then obviously scoring in the penalty shootout and winning a penalty shootout after so long was a special feeling for all of us. And I think if you look back, that game really propelled us, you know, getting over a lot of, you know, getting through the first knockout stage, winning a penalty shootout. I feel like we put a lot of things to bed in that game at that World Cup, and so it was a special game.
And obviously, the last time England were in a major tournament, they lost a penalty shootout. Would you be happy to step up again?
Yeah, of course. If I'm on the pitch and there is a penalty shootout, I would never shy away from that.
And off the pitch, there's been a lot of build-up, and you've answered some difficult questions today. Has it taken away from it at all as a player, or is it just the excitement of a World Cup is everything? Yeah,
of course it's taken away, you know, because we're sitting here talking about it, you know, instead of talking about football. So of course it's taken a lot of that away for us. But we can't hide from it. It's here, you know, and so yeah, it would be wrong to ignore it, and at the same time it would be, you know, we're here to play football. I'm a footballer. I'm definitely not smart enough to be anything other than that, you know. So at the same time, I'm so excited to play football, but you know, all of those things will obviously be present at the same time.
Hi Eric, how do you and the players sort of experience some of that negative stuff? Do you feel like the hotel gives you an environment where you can kind of forget about it and just focus on your football as well, or do you feel like you still find it from like social media and reading reports and stuff, or how do you experience sort of these negatives but balancing your job as well?
Yeah, I think as I said, I think not much needs to be said or thought, because me individually and I think us as a team, we have our principles and we have our beliefs and we stick to them. It's not like they're wavering, so those thoughts will always be there. Yeah, there's a great atmosphere in the hotel. We're extremely lucky, you know. We're extremely spoiled. We have everything we need. It's the best setup I've seen since I've been in the England team, and so we're extremely lucky for that. And there's a fantastic atmosphere there. Obviously, a lot of the boys, we've known each other a long time now, and I think to be successful in a tournament, you really need to have, in an international football especially, I think that atmosphere within the team and that camaraderie is vital.
Yeah, and I just wanted to ask one more. Alex was talking about your penalty, high pressure moment that you took on and delivered. Did the other boys sort of ask you about that, sort of how to handle the pressure of a big moment, and is that something you talk about a lot? Because everyone else seems to talk about who I meet.
Yeah, I talk about it all the time. No, I don't talk about it. No one's asked me about it. Aaron Ramsdale's given me a bit of stick because he said it was a bad penalty, but I keep on telling him it went in, so it doesn't really matter. So yeah, I think we, you know, I don't really care too much about age, and all of these guys, you know, they've already played in huge games, Champions League. They've, you know, loads of them, you know, have won numerous trophies already, you know. And you look at someone like Phil, you know, or Mason. They've got incredible experience. They've been in high pressure situations, and they've performed in them. So I don't think there's any doubt in that kind of thing for me from about anyone, and no matter what their age is either.
Hi, Eric. Firstly, congratulations on your latest high-pressure win. Secondly, I know you've said yourself your form wasn't as perhaps as strong as it could have been, but watching the Euros from afar, having been such a key part of Gareth Southgate's setup, how difficult was that? And did you think the door might be closed? Because there has been Gareth Southgate seems to do this thing where players drop out the squad and then the conversation stops about them and it goes to someone else. Did you fear that you might be in that?
Yeah, no, I'd be lying if I said I didn't think that was a possibility, you know. Obviously those thoughts go through your mind, you know. When I missed out on the Euro squad, obviously one of the worst moments for me in my career, but I always say, when I say that, I must have a pretty good career, you know, if that's one of the worst moments. So I'm just grateful to be here now. It was good for me. In many ways, it was good for me. And it propelled me to play, for me, like the best football I've played in my career. So, you know, there's always the positives to look from it. But obviously those thoughts crossed my mind. And as you said, you see that with other players, you know. So I'm very proud of myself, how I managed to fight my way back in. Very thankful to the people that supported me and helped me get back here, my family, the manager and all his coaching staff at the club, and my teammates at my club as well, because it was special to me how supportive they were of me trying to get back in, and how happy they were as well when I did.
And because of the peculiarities of this particular tournament, there hasn't been that many questions about the opposition as a team.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering what you think of Iran when we're not far out from the game now. What areas do you think they're strong in? Maybe you don't want to say that, but what have you made of them from?
I think that if you look at their previous World Cup results, you look at their last two games. Firstly, any team that's here at a World Cup is going to be a very good team. I think the quality of football in general is getting better and better, and the depth of the quality of the teams is getting bigger and bigger, or deeper and deeper. And so I think that's something that we're aware of. I think they'll be a very difficult team to play against for different reasons. Obviously, they've got players with a lot of quality. Because, you know, players that play for big European teams, you know, I know obviously my connection to Portugal. You know Taremi that plays for Porto. So there's a lot of good players in the team, and yeah, as I said, it's a World Cup. So for them, like us, it means everything, and every game will be very difficult.
Hello, Eric.
Hello.
Over here, Louise, Stats Perform News. I just wanted to ask you about the fan experience. Obviously, football is for the fans, and that's what we're all here for, to watch some incredible football. Yesterday, we heard that they were going to be not being able to serve alcohol at some of the stadiums, and I would just wonder how you feel the atmosphere will be at the stadiums. You know, will it be a party atmosphere? How will that be, and how maybe, you know, will that affect the fan experience, not being able to have alcohol at the stadiums?
Personally, I'd like to think that you can enjoy yourself with or without alcohol, first and foremost. You know, for me, that's important. And I think Aaron Ramsdale replied very well yesterday. You know, it's up for us on the pitch to bring the entertainment. I feel that in any football game I play, the entertainment comes from the style of the game, the type of the game that it is. So it's up for us as a team and every team in the tournament for us to bring great football matches, exciting football. That's what's going to create a great atmosphere in the stadiums. The football is the most important thing to create that, and players and fans feed off each other, and we have to be the ones to initiate that with good football, lots of goals, hopefully being scored and not conceded. But yeah, I think the football is the fundamental thing in creating that environment.
You talked about your club manager helping you, and talking at the beginning of the season, he said, you know, you need to play better to get back into that squad. But can you give us a little bit of an insight onto like what his thoughts might have been on and how you do that, and how you've worked with him and your relationship with him to improve over the first part of the season?
Yeah, no, I think I don't think he was saying I was playing badly the season before. I think he was just saying you'd have to play even better, because last season I felt like it was, especially since he arrived, as I said, I think that was some of the best football I've played, and I feel like I've continued that this season. But no, he obviously he's had a huge influence on me since he arrived, and not just him, all of his coaching staff. And yeah, it's difficult for me to pinpoint one thing, because I think he's improved me in every way, and I really feel that. And yeah, I've enjoyed every minute of working with him, and he's a special manager, and yeah, I'm extremely grateful to be able to have had this footballing experience with him and still have it in the future.
Okay, everyone, we'll end the live section there, and we'll move on to a couple of minutes and bargain until 10 p.m. this evening, starting with Dan King.